This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Don't let these people deter you, man. The topic at hand is, why is Terence Crawford ducking Shawn Porter? Why are we not talking about that? What happened to that? How did that just mysteriously disappear? All because now people want to talk about Errol the True Spence having a gun in his car. I mean, come on. Whoo, pandering narratives, dog. They have a ceiling cap. I told you, once they hit the ceiling, woo, they must come tumbling down. Let me say it again. Once they hit the ceiling, woo, they must come tumbling down, folks. That's the law of gravity. You can't hit the ceiling and then not come back down, because there's nowhere else to go. Think about that. It's not like they're a balloon. They could just keep going and going and going. But even if we use the simile of the balloon, when the balloon pops, what happens? It can no longer go up. That's the pandering narrative situation there. Why are we talking about Errol the True Spence gun in his car? And when we say we, I'm not talking about we. I'm using an operative word there. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Let's just keep it boxing. The archaic one-trick pony viewpoint mindset. But then talking about everything else that has nothing to do with boxing. When did boxing folks on YouTube become the news? I didn't know people were covering the news now. This is what people have subjugated themselves to. This is what people have. This is what it's become. I rest my case, man. Nothing to talk about. But no. He knows the sport. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. And we bringing that thing right back. It's like a hook. We reeling that hook out, that hook out, and bringing the bait back in. We keeping the focus, because they're trying to detour your mind from the issue and the topic at hand. Terence Crawford. They know Terence Crawford has let them down. And here's the thing. Why are you guys not making them keep that same energy, dog? Let me say it again. Why y'all not making them keep that same energy? In their comment sections, y'all supposed to be flooding it up and saying, hey, you said Bud was the boogeyman. You said, but no PBC fighter wants to fight Bud. And then here's Shawn Porter, a la Kenny Porter, showed up and said, hey, we sent them, you know what I'm saying, information, letting them know we want to fight. What's up? And then what happens? Terence Crawford gives you the ultimate blatant duck terminology. Oh, we're not interested in that fight. Please don't mention that name. Doesn't that sound like a quack quack? Come on, folks. Y'all got to keep the foot on the damn necks, man. Y'all got to apply unlimited pressure like he knows the sport. You may not be able to do it in my level, at my vernacular, but y'all got to do it in your own iterations and your own variations to these people. Because they've been telling you for months in and months out that Errol the True Spence is ducking Terence Crawford. Yet Terence Crawford don't want to fight no litmus test at the welterweight division. He wants to hide behind the cocoon of the lazy promotional style of Top Rank and get out of the bed, don't even brush his teeth, and just show up to the super fight. He's using the Errol the True Spence fight as a cash out fight because he knows he's going to get punished and stopped. But he wants to make as much money as possible. That's what they're not telling you. This is the cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat, truth-telling fashion. This is what they're not telling you, folks. Bud knows. He done had the premonition in his brain that this is Hagler and Hearns too. He knows he's going to get punished. He knows he's going to get stopped. All you got to do is look at his recent performances and then put Errol the True Spence in the ring with him. Come on, folks. One guy's doing heavyweight lifting at the welterweight division, fighting quality opponents, whereas Terence Crawford is fighting quantity opponents. Remember, there's a difference between quality and quantity. This is the separation between the two. But you guys have allowed yourselves to be beguiled, bamboozled, and betwixt by dupers. And these are high-level dupers. They can dupe you. But if you have the intelligence power of a three-dimensional thinker like he knows the sport, or if you're just a deep thinker, you don't need to be a three-dimensional thinker. You can see right through the foolery. Because if they have book smarts, they don't have common sense. And if they have common sense, they don't have book smarts. He knows the sport, and deep thinkers out here in these boxing streets. These are the ones that we call the real G's, the super real G's, and the ultimate real G's out here in these boxing streets have both. And that makes you dangerous. Y'all got to dare to be different and start calling these folks out. Why are you talking about stuff that has nothing to do with boxing? Let's talk about boxing. Let's talk about Terence Crawford ducking Shawn Porter and why that fight needs to happen so that people could know where Terence Crawford is at the welterweight division. They need to see what his litmus test is. They need to see if he's really a welterweight. Otherwise, go take your rabbit ass back down to 140. You don't need to be at 147 because you haven't tested yourself at 147. But they don't want to focus on the chihuahua barking behind the damn fence. No. We're going to keep the context at hand. They have to address this. And they have to admit that Terence Crawford ducked Shawn Porter. But they don't want to do that. You know why? Because it will debunk themselves. That's what it is, folks. They don't want to debunk themselves. So they're detouring, talking about Errol the True Spence has a gun, had a gun in his car. As if United States is not gun happy. As if United States doesn't have gun laws in place. What happened to the Second Amendment? Do you know how many states in the United States allow people to have guns? Some states are open carry states. So what the hell are we talking about? Do you know how many Texans carry guns? Texas. We're talking about Texans here, man. This is from way back in gun-slinging Cowboys days. So what the hell are we talking about? See, this is classic Doda and troglodytism. Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brainism. Ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoricisms, man. And you guys are sitting here falling for this dupery. Come on. You got to be smarter than that. You have to. Because again, what the hell does that have to do with boxing? Let's stick to the script and let's talk about Errol the True Spence is the new IBF and WBC welterweight champion. And Terence Crawford is not doing no heavyweight lifting. And he needs to fight Shawn Porter. And if he doesn't, it's a duck. Whether it fits your pandering narrative or not, you still need to come with the cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truths. Because like I told you guys, the truth will have its day. And you have to be honest. Right? And you have to be calling this shit down the line and say, look, I ain't going to lie. I know it don't fit my pandering narrative. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the pandering narrative coalition. I know it doesn't fit the pandering narrative that I'm force feeding down you guys' throat. But I have to admit, even in the pandering that I'm doing, that if Terence Crawford does not fight a Shawn Porter and just completely ignores and completely avoids him, it's a duck. That's what they need to tell you. And if they're not telling you this, then what they're doing is they're not keeping that same energy. And you got to keep them accountable for that, dog. Because that's what we're all about here. Keep that same energy, dog. Let me say it again. Keep that same energy. It's really that simple, folks. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.